Well, we haven't had much reaction from the White House. In the early hours of the morning, we got a statement from the National Security Council saying President Biden and his team are closely monitoring the extraordinary events in Syria and staying in constant touch with regional partners. But beyond that, we haven't really heard much from the president. I've reached out as well to the White House, and so far nothing has come back my way. But we will expect to hear from Joe Biden at some point later in the day, I'm sure. But we are hearing from actually the person that most people are keeping an eye on now, which is Donald Trump. Of course, Joe Biden in his lame duck era, and this really is where most of the attention will go. It will be to Donald Trump. He took to Truth Social to say Assad is gone. He's fled the country. His protector, Russia, was not interested in protecting him any longer. And then continuing, Russia and Iran are in a weakened state right now, one because of Ukraine and a bad economy, the other because of Israel and its fighting success. So Donald Trump in a rare rebuke there of Vladimir Putin, but also in some way heralding the departure of Assad from Syria.
Fraser, the U.S., of course, still has troops in Syria. So what do you think this means for the future of the U.S. deployment there, especially because Donald Trump said, at least on Saturday, that the U.S. really has no business in any further military involvement there?
Yeah, the US has about 900 troops still in Syria, most of them in the northeastern part of the country, and they really have been there to try to stop the spread of Islamic State and to stop it from resurging as well. Now, we heard early on Sunday from somebody from the Pentagon, who was actually the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, Daniel Shapiro. He was at a security conference in Bahrain, and he told that conference the United States will continue to maintain its presence in eastern Syria and will take measures necessary to prevent a resurgence of the Islamic State. He then continued, we are aware that the chaotic and dynamic circumstances on the ground in Syria could give ISIS space to find the ability to become active, to plan external operations, and we're determined to work with those partners to continue to degrade their capabilities. So the US, for now, is saying that they will maintain that troop presence, the troops that have come under constant attack ever since the wake of the attacks by Hamas on Israel on October 7th. There have been many attacks from local groups on the US troops in that region. But that message from Shapiro is standing at odds somewhat with what we heard from Donald Trump just a couple of days ago on Truth Social. He said, quote, Syria is a mess, but is not our friend. The United States should have nothing to do with it. This is not our fight. Let it play out. Do not get involved. So whether we will see a movement of those 900 or so troops when Donald Trump takes over the Oval Office on January 20th is what we're all watching for now. And I'm sure international partners, especially those in the Middle East, will be keeping a keen eye on that as well.